Yeah, we are live. When our picture shows up, you're good to hit go live. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Nathan Rosnoznik here with ThriveWorks 360, and one of my best friends in crime here is
Mushka. The only crime we are doing is trying to make sure that people are learning new things every day.
every day as often as possible. And you're
Yeah.
going to want to stick around. We're going to try to keep this one shorter today. But this is a quick thought for you, because one of the things we're going to talk about is literally the straightest line or the straightest point. Is the fastest way to get somewhere right is a straight line, which is the shortest distance between 2 points. And today we're going to talk about something we refer to simply as the
The
straight
straight
angle.
angle.
And we want to share with you a little bit more on how you're going to be able to do so. And it's really the simplest way to get anything done. That's really what we're going to be talking about. Is the simplest way to get anything done. And we're going to talk about how do we straighten this angle? How do we straighten out your focus? How do we straighten out the actions so that you get where you want to go with less effort? How you get where you want to go in less time? How we make it easier for you to get where you want to go? And that's what we're going to break down in this little series that we have here. I say that because one of my past has been riddled with working with different business owners at different sizes. One of my last ventures, the biggest thing is I can say it took me 14 years to go and double the size of the business. And I thought I knew everything. I thought I was working hard. And a lot of us might say that our calendars are packed. Everything we're doing we're feeling busy. What I realized, there are a few simple things that if we can start to understand and unravel those, allow us to move much faster with even less effort. And so what I found is within the next 3 years, I was able to triple the business, and within, in essence, spending actually less time per day in doing so. And so, Mushka, that's what we've been doing with other businesses as well. So stick with us. We're going to talk about that. And the reason this came up is we've been talking, we have a concept in the business called U to the X times your business to the Y equals exponential output. And we've been talking about a multiplier of U, so U to the X, and that can be U to the X or U to the AI. So we've been talking a lot about using AI. The same thing applies with your business. So there's business to the X, and there's ways of multiplying what you do with your business in order to get those exponential things. And there can be business to the AI. This one, I'm going to say, Mushka, comes kind of in fifth between the two of them. And I think we wanted to talk about, if I'm not mistaken, one that really falls towards the business and looking at a couple business goals. And if it's not really goals, it's like, hey, how and where do we want to be? And so we're trying to define and straighten this out. And then I thought here in a little bit, I'll draw a few things that we'll talk a little bit about this. But maybe before we get started, Mushka, why do you feel like this was a topic that you felt was important to talk about today for everybody? Maybe share that.
I guess, hi everyone again. I guess when you talk about business, for me, this is the first things I told you when we first met. I said that if I can't be a good person, if I can't be a disciplined person, I might not be a disciplined manager. So I need to be there on time, do all those things, and only then it can be inculcated in my work. The straight angle is something that takes me back to that ideology or philosophy only, where if I do not know where we are heading and where do we want to go, I won't be able to take my business to that point. So it redefines intention. It clarifies intention. It redefines your goals. It obviously clarifies your goals, and it takes you from one point, and it makes you see it clearly where you want to go, and then it can take you from that one point to the other point or the end point very easily, very clearly, without very simply, as we call it, without getting distracted or without doing all those other things. And this is something that Nathan and I talk about a lot. Social media. Is your goal on social media to get leads? Is it to get sales? Is it to create awareness? Is it to gain new following? What is the goal? Once you know the goal, only then you know how to post it or how to talk about it or how to inculcate whatever philosophy you're inculcating or whatever strategy you're propagating.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mushka, I'm going to walk you through this. Are you ready? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
And part of this,
I'm used to it by now.
I'm going to bring on my screen and I want to talk about, I'm going to draw a couple pictures. I just want to, you're going to hear some Nathan philosophy getting into this.
I'm very competitive. When you said that I'm going to put you on the spot, I'm like, ready. Okay, what are we going to do today?
Yeah. And I'm going to kind of dance around this one just a little bit. So let me see if when you're looking at me, just tell me if you can see the screen. Am I on the right
I
side
can
here?
see you're on the right side. I can see like a small panel on the left side, a
Yeah,
small
that's
white
great.
panel.
So I'm gonna draw in here, and what I want everybody to think about as we're doing this really quickly is one of the things that comes to my mind is the amazing potential that each one of us has. And by the way, that same potential is the same potential that all of our businesses have. And what I mean by that is, there's some stats that are a little bit scary when it looks at what entrepreneurs do in small businesses or those key individuals in businesses, how long before they fail. And there's this stat that not a lot of them continue to succeed. And I don't want to look at all those numbers, but it's, first year is a little bit easier. Year 3 to 5 gets a little bit harder. And year 10, I want to say it's like less than 30%. Don't be quoting me on this. And if you're in the comments, you can throw those in there. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But a very small percentage makes it past that. And one of the biggest reasons, Musha, I believe that's the case is because we struggle on creating clarity on the direction or where we're directly going. And so this straight angle is directly related to that. So I'm just going to draw a picture of you here in the middle. So let's say that there's a person. What I like to talk about is that there are actually 3 rings around each one of us as people. And I'm just going to use this quickly as
I can't see you. I can't see the screen or the person or the ring in case you're drawing.
Oh, I am drawing. So are you
I
using
can't
an
see.
iPad?
Yeah, like I can see the white panel, but the white panel does not have anything on it.
Oh, maybe take a minute because maybe it'll show up then because the white panel is the iPad. So I hope it shows up here in a minute. Let me just do a quick check here. If you're with me and following, let me just slip my screen here. I do see the screen. And how are you seeing super tiny? Or are you seeing
Yeah,
my
I'm seeing
whole
it like, no, not the whole screen. It's super tiny.
I wonder why you're not seeing my whole screen here. Oh, it's there. I'm seeing it. I wonder, is it just square on your side?
Oh, it's a rectangle and it's like a small one.
If you're with us,
30%.
maybe throw it here because I think on full screen, I'm
One
surprised.
of my professors joined. Hi, Miss
Oh,
Nayara.
hey, there you go.
She's the one who taught us ethics, so just wanting to give her a shout out.
And I'm not sure. I'm looking at this and I am seeing, and I'm guessing if you're on a mobile might be why we're cut off. And that's
No. I'm
no,
I'm on my laptop and I have
I'm
2
just talking
screens.
about if somebody might be on a mobile. What we might be getting is a square picture is maybe why versus it resizing. And I can't put it above and below. I'll have to try to look at that the next time. Let me see if I.
Now we can see rings and now we can see
Yeah,
like,
there we go. There's the rings,
yeah,
and that's without me really quick. So this is the ring. I'm going to come back and I'm just going to talk about this is you in the middle here. And what I'd like to talk about is the very end. This is the outside. This is the potential that a person has. I'm not going to get into this model. I'm very passionate. I call this the exponential growth model, and it's about people and individuals. I'm going to talk a little bit about just briefly. There's this blue line. This blue line is the world that surrounds us. It's the things that are around us. And what I like to say is that you yourself have to go through this blue ring, meaning if you're going to become smarter, you're learning, you're being around others, you're reading, you're hearing, right? And so to me, this is kind of the world around us. And I believe that we actually can't get to our potential unless we engage and act and learn and do and gather from the world around us. So this ring, which is your potential, actually continues to grow. I don't believe that it has a bound. I believe that it's limitless. But that's besides the point. What I want everybody to look at is there is this ring and there's this circle that we have here. And what I want everybody to think about is right now, based on the actions that you are taking, daily, weekly, etc., which direction might you be able to move out of the circle? So if I am going to draw a couple lines, guess what? We can leave this circle in several different ways, right? So if we think about this, this circle is 360. Business name 360. I love that. So our business, I'm just going to write that down here. We can refer to it in short, TW360. And the one reason I love 360 is because I believe that everything we do is iterative. So we can work, learn, do some more, build upon that, work, learn, do some more, build upon it, etc. So here we are with this 360. But again, if you're looking at this, we have and we can exit this circle anyway. So meaning that there's a lot of things that we can go engage with in this world that can add to our potential. Now, here's the biggest thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about this on the straight angle. Mushka, one of the key things that we have, if we think about this, is if this is where we are at and we are sitting here in spot A and we want to get to destination B, how many exits are going to lead us in the direction that we want to go? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of draw and cut this circle in half. Because if you think about this,
Mm.
anything that is on the front half will move us in the direction, even if it's not straight. And so this is, I think, going to help people see the straight angle and why it's important to make that angle straighter or more directly in alignment with what we believe or where we're going. So let me just kind of come back here really quick, just to kind of just chat with everybody here. And I say this because, by the way, Mushka, we can work really hard, right? We can work really hard and we can spend every hour in our day. And some of us don't spend any hours a day. That's different. And we might not feel like we're getting a lot of traction. Okay. And I'm going to have you in just a minute come back because I know we've been working on a few things with some customers, some of our clients that have to do with emails, and we work with service-based businesses. We work with some that are e-commerce amongst others. And the processes and these philosophies work for you personally in your life. They work just as well for your business. And I'm going to have you share a couple things just on some emails as you've continued to learn a little bit more from the e-commerce in just a minute and about being more clear on where B is. So I do want to draw one other thing that's in here. And I like to talk about this as like a drawbridge. So let me go back to the picture here. And I like to talk about, let's pretend that there is this now, this direction we're going to be going. And obviously the straightest angle or the straightest way to get between point A and B is a straight line.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And this is what I was talking before. Straight line is the shortest distance that we end up having. So this is much shorter than the same line that would be extended up here to this. If we can think about this line, let me just quickly go back in here. Let's do this. Let's extend that all the way up. Let's extend this one all the way up. And you can see, right, that the line up there is a lot longer. So again, what we can look at is that this line is almost twice the length. If we were to draw a circle around here, okay, then the straight line. Now, here's the thing, Mushka. When you go out, often what happens is a lot of you out there feel like there's something in your way. And what I like to talk about is I like to talk about almost like a drawbridge, like you're inside this castle and you're in here. What you end up with is there's this bridge that we're trying to let down. Okay, so there's a drawbridge. And by the way, we're bumping up against this. And so we're here and we can't seem to get through. And most likely the reason we can't seem to get through is because the angle of this drawbridge is 90 degrees. Because guess what? We actually have not, I am not sure. We're going to jump back to me really quick. We actually have not classified that we're ready to drop the drawbridge down and do an action that leads me closer to where I want to get at destination B. So we're going to break this down really quick because our goal is to lower the drawbridge, which lowers friction. And what I mean by that is I like to talk that often, if we all have 24 hours in a day, and here's our pencil, and this is our amount of effort, this is our time. If you think about this, Mushka, if I'm on a sheet of paper here and we're thinking about the distance, the straight up and down, if this is straight up and down, I am not moving very far in the same time. But the straighter I align this, right? Think of how much more distance I now make from here to here because I've aligned this directly in alignment with where I'm looking to go with our goals. Okay. So our goal would be right now, if you think about this, and I thought about this morning, Mushka, if everybody who's watching, if you were to think about this, a very few people will think about what they want to have accomplished by the end of the year. Now, we just did New Year's resolutions. A lot of people think about this, health, fitness, sometimes financial. But I'm going to ask you this, Musha. Have you written this down? Do you know where you want to be by the end of 2025? First and foremost, if we don't have something and we haven't put a flag in the ground to say that that's a destination, by the way, you're much less likely to get there because you go to a lot of places. We had those circles. We can go a lot of different directions. And so unless you post a flag, you're not going to be heading towards it to say that is where I want to go.
And the fact that we can head in different directions and we wouldn't even know In our head, we'd be like, yeah, this makes sense. We were working, this needed to get done, but we wouldn't know that we're actually not very aligned with where we wanted to go.
Right? Because
Yeah.
we just wouldn't know. So any direction, anywhere would be somewhere,
Yeah.
but it might not be closer to getting where we want to go. So I talked about that with the drawbridge. So our goal is if defining a point, and then here's the thing, Mushka, what we can start to do is we can start to look at how much is our actions today in alignment with where we want to go. And
Right.
I'm going to say this because I'm going to have you come back and we're going to simplify this a little bit. But every single day we have a choice when we get up on what we're trying to accomplish for the day. Now, again, I started with here's the year. By the way, I would ask, well, then does anybody know what you want to do by the end of the quarter? So to me, I'll break this down to say by the end of March.
Yeah.
What's your flag for the end of March? Because often 1 year is too far for people to think about, Mushka. What we can say is, hey, in 3 months from now, I believe that we can accomplish this goal, which usually tends to be smaller. We tend to put smaller numbers because an annual goal is a lot more when it comes to revenue, is a lot more when it comes to, like, let's say I want to read books. I know my son took this challenge and he's like, hey, I want to read a book a month. Now, if you just put that out, I want to read 12 books. 12 books on its own in a short time feels like more. If we say that's over a year, we can start breaking that down per month or per week on how much, and it starts to seem much smaller. And there's a lot of things that talk about ways of breaking down goals. This isn't that. This is more of the way we think. And then today I'm looking for, again, a simple thing that you can apply to take action. And so I'm referring back to, we've got the quarter and then we have the month, Mushka. So we have, what do we want to have within the next month? And we have, again, the next week. And so if we can start to say, I believe, and to me, we talk in terms as though we're there. It's amazing that, Mushka, our business is in a place where we're consistently working with thousands of individuals within businesses to impact them, to help them find more success. And success for business owners usually falls into two major categories. They want more revenue and profit. They want more time back. Let's say that's the case. And our goal is to help ourselves and our clients. They will actually have 40% more of their time back in their days while having 3 times access to the revenue and profit. If we put some of those things down, that still sounds blanket, but what we can do is we can say, what is it going to be like? What do we have to do in order to get there? Recently, we're looking at January for one of the clients that we're working with, and we have a revenue goal. And there's a lot of things we can do. And what we can start to say is, today, what is one action that if I take it moves me closer to that revenue goal? Because we can do things that are not. So think of the circle. Think of where we're at. How directly correlated was my action to that end goal? So let's break that down, Mushka. Have you had a couple thoughts on this, on your ability to straighten angles, or what your thoughts have been on how you have straightened your angle? In essence, how you've decided to take action that was more directly aligned with what your goals are.
I would want to talk about something, and I'd want to give a bit of cultural context as well. So many times we do certain things, and there are certain processes, or there are certain things we do because they're right, or this is the way they're supposed to be done, or if we don't do it this way, it wouldn't create a nice image. It was one of actually, I'll talk about it openly. There were two things that we were talking about. So we were working with one of the businesses, and they wanted their revenue to be increased. They just wanted sales. That's it. That's what they wanted.
Okay.
And Nathan was like, "Oh, let's put this particular product on sale." And I was like, "Do we want to do that? Like, if you put it on sale, wouldn't it look like, we're just decreasing the value of the product and stuff?" And we did certain mathematical calculation, and the business was not losing money, obviously, if we put the product on sale, and the business was actually making money. But it was a cultural context where I felt that, if you put something on sale, it feels like you're devaluing the product. If you really want to do that. And Nathan was like, "Mushka, what is the goal? What is the end goal that we're working on?" And I was like, "Making money. This company needs to make money right now to stay afloat. Like, this is what's going to happen." And Nathan was like, "Yes, there you have it." Then we started strategizing on like how we are going to make money for them. And another example was that, I was working on certain emails for a company, and there were certain graphics related to that particular email. And and they looked very nice, and they looked very aesthetically pleasing. However, I thought that why not I A/B test. So I sent us a few emails with that graphic, and then there was this other graphic which had the discount code. In the first email, there was the discount code just written in the email and not in the graphics. In the second email, the discount code was on in the graphics, but in the email as well, but also in the graphic. But the graphic were not that pretty. Guess what? There was a 10 times different as to people buying from that email that was aesthetically pleasing but did not have the code, rather than the email that was all right aesthetically but had the code in it. And I was like, oh, if only I knew in the beginning where I want to land and what I want to do, the how would become easy. You just need to know what do you want to do, and the how will become a straight line rather than just going somewhere. And as Nathan says, if you're moving, we'll land or we'll end somewhere, but that might not be exactly where you want it to end.
I love that. Thank you very much. In fact, one of the things that I love most about that, Mushka, and I just want to use this maybe from a set of encouragement with everybody who's here. And I did find my picture. I'm going to bring this back up really quick for everybody. The biggest thing that I can say is if we're here and we do have a direction, I'll be honest with you, anything in front of this line, regardless of how straight or not, is better than anything that is going backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree? Anything in front of this line?
I agree. I agree.
Closer. And to me, I want everybody to walk through this really quick, because one of the things, Mushka, as you were talking about this, one of the things I thought about is break this down. Keep this simple. In today, you had a task. I'm going to send some emails. And what you can ask is, how straight is my action currently regarding emails? Meaning, if my goal is to help, first, by the way, on email, and I want to just move through this pretty quickly. The key thing is to stop them from scrolling. Number two is to cause them to click into it, right? So your subject line and then your preview line, two most important things you can have. Third is, what is the context of the email? So you solved, we're stopping the scroll. You solved, let's get them inside of that. And so the straightest angle on this one is we want them to call, we want them to begin to click to act. And then obviously we want them to buy. So if we're asking and thinking we want them to take action, to your point, you said, how can we make that as clear and as direct as possible? And there are ways, because yes, we want to put it in text and there's some strategies. However, what you can just ask yourself, Musha, is maybe you should just do some little brief research. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what my goal is. Here's my email. And by the way, AI is a great friend for you, where you can say, hey, would you have some recommendations on 3 key things we can do in this email that will likely increase the opportunity for somebody to take action? You did some A/B testing, and what you found out is, in simple, adding a code to part of the graphics along with having it in the text was more effective than not doing that. So this isn't a how do we make emails more effective? It is the efforts and the solutions you had were straighter. They aligned quicker. They were easier. They were more simple for the customer to take action. So part of this, again, remember, is it's one of the simplest ways for you to accomplish any task. And to me, one of the things is how directly in alignment, or how direct are my actions, or are the actions that I'm creating aligned with what my goal is? So I'm just going to go back, because you were doing an email, and I can ask myself, if my goal is to have them not only click, but take action so that they can remember to buy. And again, there's other things that we can do within this too, with A/B testing and many others. That's not the point of this. But you did this, and you were able to say, oh, I wonder if this will help better, if this will be more likely and straightened. Am I removing friction from the customer? Think about that. We talked about the drawbridge. That drawbridge, here's the amazing thing is, and I have to draw this. I have to draw this. Let me just quickly get in here really quick. I have to draw this, because to me, this is huge. So again, here we go. Here you are. Okay. We're standing behind, and here we've got this big old drawbridge. And we're like, I want to get through this, but guess what? It's not open that far. Well, here's the thing. Think about castles. Do you know what's right outside the a lot of castles, around castles? Everybody heard of the term
pond?
Moat? There's a moat. Yeah, there's the moat that's there, right? And then you end up with the, here's the other pathway, right? Well, here's the thing. If you don't have, and you're not laying your bridge down, here's the amazing thing is, when you actually put the bridge down, it actually does 2 things. First is it overcomes and gets you out of danger.
Yeah.
Okay. and it builds and it creates a pathway. So again, the straighter the pathway and the more directly in alignment with your goal. If my goal is here, think about this drawbridge is I don't want to go up over here. I am trying to get to the other side. So the straighter we can put that drawbridge and lay that down, the easier it is for us to walk across. And when we walk across, because we've clarified that destination B is here and A is here, and we have created a more straight angle. Think about this again. Okay, we've been able to bring that down and straighten it out. This is the interesting thing. Clarity also eliminates dangers and unknown. Okay, clarity gets rid of a lot of the dangers and the unknown. It gets rid of the risk. It gets rid of the questions, the I don't knows. It gets rid of the what is something else I should do today. So if we really say, I know I'm here and I want to get across this. And what we can say is then what is the straightest path? What is, remember our circles here. I can do a lot of things that get me outside of my circles to expand what I have. But the more they're directly aligned with the actions we want to, our dream destination is what I like to often call that, then the more likely you are to get there in less time. And so that goes back to, if we think about this again, this pen and pencil, and I have a graphic I should go find here, but I like to say people are, well, we'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about what if my angle is not as straight, how to straighten it. That's not something we're talking about, because that's another question is what do we do and how do we know how to realign our actions to be better in alignment? Right now, we're talking about the simple concept of two major things. Is one is that we have the choice of what we're going to do every day. We're expanding and learning and getting more towards our potential and the potential of our business by doing and engaging with things that are around us. However, if they are behind me, then that is not taking me towards my direction. And so what we want to do is put the flag in the ground and say, that is a point on where I want to be. And then we can simply ask, is the action today going to get me closer to or straightening out? And how straight is that activity and its likelihood to get me where I want to go? And again, going back, Mushka, we can have different angles. We will not talk about how to straighten that effort right now today. We'll come back on that other one and talk about it has to do with failure and actually not seeing failures as failure. And the faster you can find new ways to hone it in, then the straighter the angle gets and the faster you also get to your destination. So I just wanted to share those couple things today for all businesses, people personally. If you're a key individual in a business, this applies to you in your career. If you are a business owner, this has to do with legitimately the peace you're going to feel and find in your life. Put more, Mushka, I can tell you this. I've sat across from many, 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 many business owners. And I'll use this to clarify it. When they think about growing a business or scaling a business, the first thing they think about is it's going to take more time and more effort.
Yes.
And that is not the case. We're not
long hours, long nights, no holidays, working on the weekends.
And if you are, there's a better way. And what I would like to say is, if that's the case, that's one of the things that we do, Mushka. We have really U to the X or U to the AI. We like to call that, and your business to the X or your business to the AI equals exponential output. The U is more about the person and the way we think and the way we perceive business, our perspectives. And we can drastically impact our capabilities and our abilities to accomplish tasks by seeing things through different filters or lenses. And there's a lot more that has to do with that. And the other one really is your business, right? So in your business, I like to talk two major things. One is we have what we call the Autopilot 360, which is a way of helping put systems into businesses that are very duplicatable, that allow them to be scalable. And the other is how do we go find more of our ideal clients, which we call Bridge 360. So if you're interested in any of those things, we'd love for you to come first, like, subscribe, and share.
Comment and share.
Comment and share. The other thing is we have a free community called the Thrive Growth Academy, where we bring and we talk and we share these insights with others. We have different workbooks and different videos that help walk people through what this looks like. Again, what the autopilot is for businesses, how to bridge your clients into your business and help you get more per customer. And to me, one of my biggest and my most passionate has to do with us or you, and how can we help you find and become the person that you're meant to be in order to accomplish that greatness. So come join the community. We do a lot there. And again, if you're wanting any help with those other things regarding your business, we'd love to be able to help you out as well. Mushka, any last thoughts
just
you want to share with the group here?
I just wanted to say, just come hang out with us. Let's talk stuff.
come hang out. Let's talk. Maybe I could just
Yes.
share it from you, Mushka. And I know you've been a personal individual that has found a shift in the way you think and the way you're
Yeah.
able to do things regarding business and your personal life. Do you have a thought that would come to mind right now that we might share with everybody?
I feel that when we talk about all these things and perspectives and changing and thinking all these things, when we think a whole lot of it feels like it's all just fluff. And does this really even matter? Would it actually make me money? And I was like, remember when I met you first, I was like sort of skeptical as well. And I was like, Nathan, really now? Does this really work and stuff? But slowly and gradually, once I started inculcating things, and one of the things that you taught me, and this was so on point, and I'm like, oh, it's who, not what. That's what you taught me. And now this is something that I work with in my personal life. This is something I look at when I'm hiring. This is something I look at when I'm making friendships. And this is something when I'm like, seeking advice from someone. It's not what, it's who. So I can go to Nathan and talk about something mundane that's not even relevant to work because I know who he is and it does not matter what I'm talking about. Um, and once you start inculcating all these things in your life, you transform and then you start thriving. And then there are people around you and they go like, what happened? You have become so evolved. What happened? Like I have friends call me and ask me that I'm not the same Mushka anymore. Like what happened? Like what happened? How did I evolve so much? Like did I take therapy or something? And I was like, well,
Unfortunately,
yes.
way too much in dealing with me, but there you go.
I was like, well, I do not have like therapy in my work package, in my insurance. I wish I did, then I could. But I tell them about you that, we discuss these things and that made me think about this thing. And now I handle this matter in a certain manner or in a particular manner. And that just slowly and gradually, and then eventually it just changes who you are. It changes how you look at things. It changes how you work. And it also changes the way you put in effort and the results or the outcomes of those efforts.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. I love that. Thank you very much, Mushka, for sharing that.
you're welcome.
That's the journey we're all on, right, Mushka? If you come and join the community, I'd like to say
Yes.
there's three things we talk about at ThriveWorks 360, just as a conclusion here, is we talk about empowering individuals. Okay.
Yeah.
And really at the end, it is individuals because a business is nothing without individuals. So it's empowering individuals, right?
Yeah.
So that they can begin to transform them and their teams. This is you. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, I will tell you one of the best ways for you to find success, and really one of the only key ways, is for you to begin to see and understand how you begin to become the person that allows the business to become what it needs to be. And I like to say you have to be a student of your future self. I love that saying that I have, is because you cannot get where you want to go unless you're studying to be that. And this isn't school study. This is learning to become who and what that business or what that process needs that allows for you to have the success, right? So we talk about empowering, transforming, because you end up transforming, and those things, when they come together, allow you to thrive. And so
Yes.
that's what we really have, is empower, transform, and
Yes.
thrive as part of ThriveWorks 360. And again, we do this personally with individuals, and then we do this with your teams and with processes. I believe that processes can get you to a certain point. I believe that they do not allow you to thrive. I believe the people and the way they think and the way they act allows you to thrive in your business. So come join us.
That's very true.
We'd love to have you part of the community. Let us know other things that come to mind. If you have questions that we can help answer, topics you would like us to cover, we're continuing to build on this. You're going to see they're going to fit in one of really two big buckets again, either the U to the X or the business to the Y. We've been doing, again, U to the AI as well. So things that AI help enhance you with, in business to the X and business to the AI as well. Those things coming together are a multiplier of you, a multiplier of your business. Together, they even multiply each other. That's how we find exponential success and growth with ourselves and our businesses together. I look forward to more of these videos and lives and other things to come. There we go. Thanks, Mushka. Thanks for joining me today. We appreciate that, everybody who's been with us live as well.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.